Hey y'all, this is Cam. So today is Tuesday. Today is the 18th of November. And I be telling y'all like Cam be having stuff going on. It be stuff that just have me all over the place. So I'm a little keyed up right now. So, and ain't nobody here but me. Cece looking at me like, Mama. So I decided I'm just gonna do this video, and I think I'm gonna post it. I'm not sure. I probably will. I'm coming up on a anniversary of Steve's passing. 2 years. And I have been very intentional about making sure that he's never forgotten. Facts. My husband left the home doing what he did effortlessly every day. Going to work. Same route, same routine. But because of choices that people made that day, it caused this accident that claimed his life prematurely. And so I don't want it to be forgotten. And it's not about the manner in which he passed away. For me, it's more about the life that he lived, the man that he is, the man that he was. And so I've been very intentional about the things that I do. But because I have been in this very emotional place, I have had to kind of take a step back and pivot and gather myself so that I can handle the things that I need to handle. So for the longest, I just couldn't get myself together. And then it got to a point where I was able to move and start to do things, right? When he first passed away, because he was a veteran, he served over 23 years in the United States Navy. Once I reached out to DFAS and I reached out to Veterans Affairs, they pretty much kind of did a lot of things for me. As a result, I received a citation from, at that time, it was our President Joe Biden, expressing his sympathy and mourning with me in the loss of Steve, right? White House. Got that within 30 days of Steve passing away. Time went on. The next thing I decided to do, which it was several months after the fact, I had completed the application for Department of Transportation to do a memorial marker at mile marker 216, which is where Steve took his last breath. Did the application, mailed in my check, because don't nobody do nothing for free. Don't matter that I'm been here in Georgia all my life. That's a whole nother thing. But I digress. Mailed the fee in, did the application. The lady that's over it, she reached out to me. We coordinated for me to get it put up, and they put it up on his birthday last year. Then some more time passed, and I was like, I want the intersection right here in Locust Grove. I would like to have that. It's like an underpass bridge. It'd be nice if that could be the Steve Golden underpass or something to that nature, right? That's that. So asked about it, was told I needed to get on the agenda for the city council meeting here in Locust Grove. I did that. That was January of this year. Went to that meeting. Y'all should remember. Had on this cute little black dress and some boots. I posted a picture. Did. They told me that because we had new council members and a new mayor, that they really, didn't have a process, and they were going to be working on it, and they was going to get back with me and let me know what I needed to do. Okay, cool, no problem. All right. In the meantime, y'all know I'm always thinking. I was like, you know what? Steve was so proud of the fact that he was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. He loved his Louisville Cardinals, right? Let me send an email. Let me email the senators and stuff in Louisville. Let me see if I can get a section of the 264 Waterson named in his honor. All I can ask. Only thing they can do is tell me no, right? Same thing with Georgia. I wanted that stretch of 75 where he died named in his honor. Why wouldn't, in my mind, there's no reason to say no, right? Okay. Sent the email to the my state representative here in Georgia. They responded back. Not even an hour later, responded back. Gave their condolences. Yes, Ms. Golden. When we go back in session in January, we will present this. We'll be in contact. 2 different Georgia legislative people. Okay. Sent it to a senator in Louisville. Told him what I wanted. Guess what? He didn't just respond to my email. He had somebody from their legal team to call me maybe 2 days later. Hey, Miss Golden, want to give you our deepest condolences. We're so sorry about your loss with Steve. We're not able to name a section of the highway because, they explained, because that's normally an honor bestowed upon, like if he had died in the line of duty or something like that, right? They told me what their criteria was. Okay, no problem. But, Ms. Golden, we're willing to go ahead and do a citation in honor of Mr. Golden. And we'll present it when we go back in session in January. So it will be in the books in Kentucky. So that means he's imprinted in history in Kentucky. Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much. I've already received the citation. I have that along with the one that I got from President Biden. Have those framed very nicely, and they're here where I have his urn at. The city of Locust Grove ended up reaching out, telling me they had an application. It was an application fee. Submitted. Y'all know I be in waves, so I was just not in a good place. I have to deal with stuff when I have the bandwidth to deal with it, right? So I submitted the application. Like, I woke up one morning, I was like, yeah, it's time to do it. So let's just say this was 60 days ago. Let's just say this was 60 days ago. I submitted the application. I filled it out. I wrote out my check. I went and I dropped it off. When I went, I think they was on a midnight lunch, whatever. But I dropped it off. And maybe like some weeks later, I got an email saying, hey, we got your application. Now you need to get the mayor and one of the city council members to sign off on it. That didn't sound right to me, because I don't work for the city of Locust Grove. So, you know me, push back. I was like, hey, how is this supposed to happen? Because how am I supposed to get to these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, you telling me to reach out to them. You don't tell me to call them. You don't tell me what their office hours are. Because let's be clear, the city of Locust Grove, we're a small city in comparison to other places. And I know they are not paying salaries like that where these people don't have other jobs and they do this like part-time, right? So they give me nothing, like as if I know every council member. So push back. And I'm like, it just seems like it would make more sense if you guys would talk about, I did this part, bring it up on the agenda in the next council meeting and, yeah, handle it that way. Or how about pull the notes from when I went to the meeting in January, because I mentioned that in my request. So they sent me a list of all the council members' email addresses, right? Then they tell me, well, the election is coming up, so this is where it is as of now, but I think it was like 2 or 3 seats that were up. And somebody else could have got in them. Okay, no problem. I still sent it in enough time. I sent it a little over 30 days ago, probably like 45 days. Let me see, about 34 days ago is when I sent that email, right? I sent the email. I got a response from the mayor, probably within an hour, giving his condolences, telling me that, basically it was a new process, something to that effect. Okay. All right. I got another email from a councilwoman, McConnell, and she said she remembered me from the meeting. She gave her condolences. Now, she was the only one that was very, very close and truthful. She said, this is a new process. I'm not really sure how to proceed at this point. She says that. Okay, great. No problem. What that says to me is that I'm thinking, okay, so the mayor responded. Now, what's his name? Mayor Carlos Breer, Locust Grove, that he responded. He knows this is on the table. They know they just created this process. So what that says to me is maybe I'm the first one in this new process, right? All right. So 2 people responded. It's about 34 days later. I ain't heard nothing. So I had to pray on it because emotionally I go like this. Like ain't no in between. And y'all know how I am when it comes to Steve Golden. So I sent the email this morning to one of my neighbors who works for City of Locust Grove, and it's his office that kind of handles a part of it. So let's just say they the handover team. And I was explaining, I was like, hey, it just seems like you guys should be able to get the signatures for me because it's already in-house, And he was like, I know, but that's not the process, and pretty much his hands are tied. All right, no problem. I get it. I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to go ahead and draft up my follow-up emails to everybody. And I was telling him, because he even extended, he was like, you can come to a council meeting. And I told him, I said, yeah. I said, but I've already been to a council meeting. I'm coming up on 2-year anniversary of Steve passing. And just from an emotional standpoint, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for me to come to a council meeting. Because, now I'm irritated. It's like when Steve first passed away, I think I had shared, every time somebody tells me, I'm so sorry for your loss. You have my deepest sympathy, my condolences. Now, if your ass really mean that, if it is something that I am asking of you or a service that you have to provide or need to provide to me, if you really believe what you said, don't just say those words. Just do what it is that I've requested. So for me, in this instance, all of the I'm sorry for your loss, my deepest sympathies, oh my God, the gasp when I went to the council meeting and I spoke, all of that, it's bullshit. What can you do to help me? Because nothing is going to make it right or make it better. But how about you just help me do your job, do what you're supposed to do as a public servant for one of your constituents. Yeah. Because guess what? I vote every election. Every election I vote. Most of them I voted for. And so life has lifed the hell out of me. And I chose to do something to honor my husband. Now I understand everybody don't move on my time. But I had to wait until I was able to move and to be in a good mindset. And I did it when I needed to. But in my mind, I'm like, this ain't nothing that somebody need to just keep kicking the can on. It's either a yes or a no, right? My thing was, at least I'll have an answer before the 2-year anniversary, right? Even though the logistics of like the signs or whatever like that may not happen. And keep in mind, I got to pay for that and I don't have a problem with it, right? But I still need a yes or no. So it has to be for an accountability piece. You got to have some kind of time frame internally that you're going to get this thing going. And let me be clear, y'all. It ain't a damn thing going on down here in the city of Locust Grove that they can't deal with that within a 30-day window. So yeah, now Cam is pissed off, right? I try to move in such a way because when it comes to my husband, I'm very no nonsense. Like, I ain't got nothing but memories. So me requesting these things to remember him, these things to etch him into history, it is a part of my therapy. It is a part of my healing. It is something that I need, right? That's why I don't like depending on no goddamn body. Because if I could do everything on my own, I would do it on my own. But that's not the process. So I got to go and get these people to do what I do. And here's the thing. I don't reached all the way to Louisville, Kentucky. I have reached all the way to Washington, D.C. And these people made this happen in a reasonable time. And here I am, down here in damn Locust Grove, waiting on these people to figure some shit out. It don't sit well with me. It don't sit well with me. So, what did I do? I prayed. And I said, God, you know how I am about my husband. And this is, for me, it's disrespect. I see it as a sign of disrespect. But I drafted my letter. Everybody got the same damn letter. It was very professional. It was very direct. And it was very to the point. I need a yes or a no. Plain and simple. You know, when someone loses someone in such a traumatic way, like I did for Steve, go ahead and do what it is that you gotta do. It's not even about you saying yes. It's about you saying something. Say yes or say no. It doesn't matter, but say something. It's not acceptable that I'm waiting over 30 days for you to give me a response. And we're talking about, it may be like 7 or 8 people on city council. And only one city council member responded to me. And the mayor responded to me. That's it. Yeah. You know, I'm so damn mad and pissed off about this shit right here. Like, I'm like the hell with Locust Grove. Like, put my damn house up for sale and get the hell up out of the city of Locust Grove. That's how I'm feeling. It's like the disrespect. I feel like my husband's memory is being disrespected. Now, somebody read the email that I sent within the last hour. How does Cam know? I get a phone call. I see. It's from the city of Locust Grove. Hello. Hi, Miss Golden. I was calling because I was asked to follow up. Good. I've done everything that I should do. I said, and I'm quite sure you already know that I fired off an email to everybody. Everybody got the same one. Nobody got an extra special. Everybody got the same one. And I pointed out to her, I hit key points. I was like, Kentucky, D.C., state of Georgia. Everybody took care of me when I asked. Y'all ain't got that nothing going on like that. I said, and I'm a voter. I voted for most of these people. I said, so in this one moment when life has lifed me, and I'm asking for something that there's a category for it. So I'm not asking you to create nothing for me. I'm asking for something that many before me have asked, right? But that process got lost somewhere in the shuffle that ain't got nothing to do with Cam Golden. Make it make sense. I was like, I ain't even in the right headspace, and y'all causing extra trauma to me because of this. I needed to vent. Like, I don't damn play when it comes to Steve Golden. I don't damn play when it comes to my children. I don't play when it comes to my family and people that I love. But with Steve, I got all this stuff going on, this litigation. I got this civil shit. I got the criminal stuff. I got all this stuff going on when it comes to Steve. On top of the fact that he ain't here. And because he's not here, I got to deal with all of this. And ain't nobody over here trying to help me deal with shit. It's just me. It's me. It's me. Just me. I got to make sure that all my bases are covered, that I'm good, that I can provide for myself, that I can take care of my kids, that I can do everything that I need to do, when the plan was never for me to do this shit alone, right? But I gotta do all of this shit. I would have done it no matter what, but it hurts like hell that I'm having to do it when my husband's not here. And it's like, don't nobody get this shit. Like this shit with the city of Locust Grove. I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, Sydney is the one that wants to be an attorney. She wants to be a politician. You know, I'm very no nonsense, and she is too. But like, see, this shit right here, this politics shit right here, miss me with it. Because at some point, common sense got to be common. Like, this is what you got for a widow. This is what you got for one of your constituents who's a widow, who lost her husband on Thanksgiving almost 2 years ago, right about 2 miles from her house. Like, this lady, her life has been torn the fuck apart. Like, this lady ain't gonna never be the same. This is the one small thing that you could do, but you choose to drag your ass on it. So they say, Miss Golden, give me till tomorrow and I'm going to follow back up with you. All right. But now I got to act crazy and out of my character, and you got my blood pressure up. My husband is always going to be worth it. But it hits different because he ain't here. He ain't here. So this shit lands very different. Respect the fact that he ain't here. Respect the reason behind why I'm asking, right? I took the time to fill out the application. I took the time to write the check. I took the time to get in my car and drive up there. Just make it make sense. Make it make sense. All right, y'all. That's all I got. That's all I got. My day is almost finished, and I'm literally going to take my ass to bed because I've had enough for today. I've had enough for today.